This week, I want to talk about something really important for newbie consultants and those starting their new consulting businesses, and that is professional conduct. And I'll explain why I'm not looking particularly professional today and what all this is about, coming right up. So this week I wanted to talk about professional conduct, and I'll explain this setting in a moment, but I promised somebody that I would shoot this video before I left home to come and do what I'm doing now. And I felt a little bit guilty, and I thought I better shoot it so that I fulfill my promise to do that video for them. So professional conduct, really important, and I want to talk about why it's so important and some of the things that I have seen consultants do that, to be honest, are really unprofessional. But I suppose I better put your mind at ease. Where the heck am I? So if you're a really successful consultant, you get to have time off and do this kind of stuff. What am I doing? One of the things that I love to do every couple of years is to grab a backpack, which is sitting over there, come to Spain and just walk. And this is my fourth time doing it, and this time I'm walking 1,000 kilometers from Sevilla. So I started in Sevilla, down that way yesterday, and I'm heading north 1,000 kilometers up to Santiago de Compostela on the northwest coast, along paths like this through this beautiful countryside. So I'm not here to think about business, but I did promise to shoot this video, so I'm going to get this one out of the way and then get back to my contemplative walk. So why is professional conduct really important? Look, your behaviour in front of your clients kind of sends all kinds of messages. The sort of relationship that you want to have with them, what kind of person you are to deal with, and the reason it's so important is that success in any consulting business very heavily relies, I think, on having your clients come back to you time and time again. So I'm just glancing up because there's a lot of cyclists coming through here. You want your clients coming back to you time and time again because that's the easiest way to grow a consulting business. You know, getting new clients is really, really hard. And you don't want to be out there, you know, struggling all the time with sales. And we've got another peloton coming. You don't want to be out there all the time struggling with sales. You want a very high proportion of repeat business, and your conduct is a huge component of that. So what do I mean in terms of combat? Look, in terms of combat, in terms of conduct, it comes in all forms, as simple as, you know, the way you dress and interact with your clients. I'm a little bit old school. I always think of you know, advice that I was given when I started out consulting, and that you ought to dress and act kind of half a step above the client in terms of professionalism. So what do I mean by that? Well, you know, if I'm visiting a client and they're wearing casual business pants and a shirt, I might throw on a jacket. Buenos días. Camino. Gracias. That guy was just saying buen camino, which is a traditional greeting. They can say I'm on a pilgrimage hike. So it's very nice for them to say that. It basically means good way. Yeah, so I sort of try to, and you're not trying to outdo the client. It's more a show of respect, to be honest. You know, if you go the other way, if they're in sort of business pants and business shirt, and you turn up in t-shirt, you know, to my mind, you're disrespecting yourself and the client. So you need to be, you know, at least at their level of professional conduct and dress, if not, you know, a little bit above, to show that you're respecting the relationship. It's the same in your communication. Now, communication is a really important part, I think, of professional conduct. And it's not just about communicating in a professional manner. It's being professional about your frequency of communication, your type of communication. There is nothing worse for a client than to hire a consultant. Maybe they're paying a lot of money, and then they just don't hear from them, you know, and this consultant perhaps has this very arrogant attitude that, hey, you know, client, I'll kind of tell you stuff when I'm ready to tell you. You can just kind of wait until I'm ready. If you've ever spent a lot of money on advice and things like that, you'd like to be kept in the loop, and so will your clients. So regular updates. With my consulting clients, we have weekly updates regardless, you know, where we all jump on a Zoom call and we'll go through what's happening. That's the sort of formalized updates at least once a week, and then depending on the requirement of the project we'll do even more than that. And you know, we could go on and on about presentation styles and things like that, but it's about clear communication, regular communication, consistent communication in a professional manner to keep them up to speed with what you're doing. The other thing, and it's sad to say, but I've seen consultants do this. I don't know how else to put this, but don't be an asshole. What do I mean by that? I've sometimes seen this where people have maybe transitioned from industry, where perhaps they've had an operational management role, maybe quite a tough role, and then they move into consulting, and they maybe haven't understood the transition and the different type of relationship. As a consultant, you are not the manager, you're not the boss, you don't really have the authority to dictate what goes on. You're there as the trusted advisor, that wonderful term coined in a book by, if I can remember, I'll put it down below. But you're there as an advisor, and it's a much harder role than if you're in a management role. So if you're in a management role, you've kind of got the position and the title and a degree of authority. As a consultant, you very often don't, and you have to be a much better communicator to bring people along, to engage people and so on. And it's really a little bit like being a teacher, I think. And the consultants who don't get it, I mean, I've seen things like, maybe a consultant traveling interstate, and the client has said, it would be really great if you could be here for 2 days, spend some time on site. You get a sense of what the client wants. We want you to see everything and engage with everybody. And the consultant, no, I can only give you 1 day. I'll be in and out in a day. What does the client think of that? Or maybe, they're working on a project and they're developing some sort of framework, and the client says, it would be great to see 2 or 3 options, and perhaps the consultant turns around and says, hey, I'm only getting paid to do 1. What kind of message does that send to your client? Is this someone you want to work with on a long-term basis? No. So how do you get around things like that? And I'm talking about how you interact on a day-to-day basis with your clients. I'm not talking necessarily about scope creep or anything like that. If that was me, and if I'd planned a project and to be, visiting them interstate or internationally just for the day, and they say, look, could you make it 2 days? I'd say, whatever, anything like that. I'd say, look, can I take that offline? We'll just look at the resourcing and costing, and we can shuffle a few things, and if I can do that, then we'll certainly try. You see the difference? It's not a case of, no, you haven't paid for that. So don't be an asshole, which is one of the things about, really important things about professional conduct, I think. And to kind of sum all that up, and I'm not trying to make out I'm a consulting guru here. I mean, I've been lucky. I've had a degree of success. I've had some wonderful clients. I've got a wonderful team of consultants around me. But I look upon my team and our clients almost like friends. Well, the team I do, certainly. The client relationships, very, very close, friendly relationships, very flexible. And that's such an important part of the professional relationship for me, because they know that whatever they want, they can ask. And there's, that we'll work something out to get them what they need. There's an incredible degree of flexibility and collaboration. And I think ultimately that's what really professional conduct comes down to. Buenos dias. A bunch of cyclists. So sorry, I rambled on a bit there. My mind's kind of in another place, but I did promise somebody that I would do this video. Love to hear your comments down below. I will probably not be doing any more business style videos on this walk, because I'd rather concentrate on the 1000k walk that I've got ahead of me and clear my head. These walks are great for just unplugging and not thinking about work, but I did feel rather guilty that I didn't produce this video as promised before I left home. So here it is. I'll probably be home by the time you watch this. But thanks for joining us, and if you haven't already subscribed to Consulting Business School, please do. My apologies for not keeping the videos up as regularly as I would like to. I do have some other YouTube channels which are more related to my own consulting business, and that's what's really keeping me busy, but I'll try to do some more. And if there are particular topics that you'd like to hear about, do ask. Maybe if I have a break through this walk, I might do another one. Bye for now. you.